vital that you trust the method of your healing. There's an act of faith, and I don't mean religiously, but I mean you have to trust that what a doctor or an expert or a specialist or someone that has been there has said will work for you. Take an exercise analogy. So I'm just in my home gym here, right? Every day that I exercise, I don't feel like I'm getting stronger in that day, in that exercise, right? But I have to have faith, I have to have trust that if I continue to exercise, if I continue to do it, I'll continue to improve and get stronger and get better, right? The same thing works for therapy. After each therapy session, I don't know necessarily if I'm getting better. When I was on medication, I didn't know if it was gonna fix me. I didn't know if it was gonna help, but I had to trust the method, I had to trust the therapies. I'm so glad I did, because if I didn't do that, I don't know where I'd be right now. The point I'm driving at is that healing and therapy and all of these things takes time, right? And you have to come to it with a belief that it will work. Because I when I first started it, I'm like, I started doing stuff without sort of having my whole brain in it, without sort of fully believing it. And the results came, but they weren't quite there. But when I leant into it, when I tried, when I pushed, then the results came. Then it really started to compound. Now, for me, that's gone well beyond just therapy. It's translated into establishing a morning routine. I looked into a book called Daily Rituals, and this was suggested by a podcast called Tim Ferriss. The point is that a lot of successful people have very strong and disciplined morning rituals. Some don't, some sort of just do what they like, but that approach worked for me. So I found that every morning I'll get up, I'll meditate, then I'll exercise. And having those two things consistently in my day have done wonders for my mental health. It just fixes my brain in the sense that it sets me up for a positive, good day, because I know that I've done something for myself. Now, once again, each day, each individual session might not be that great. Each individual session, I might not see the results of the meditation or the exercise, but I know the results over the long term. So initially I had to have faith in the method. I had to read the books and trust the experts. But now that I've got that momentum going, now that I've done it every day for longer than I can remember, I now know the results for myself. So it's got this self-fulfilling, self-perpetuating thing. So if you're there, if you're struggling, have some faith that it will work. Trust the research. You know, look into it. If you struggle with depression, look into the treatment options. Okay, there are medication and there are psychological therapy options, right? If you've got borderline personality, if you've got anxiety issues, if you're suffering from schizophrenia, any sort of disability, any sort of mental illness, there are things that work. There might not be cures for everything, but there are ways that you can treat different things. There are ways that you can sort of mitigate the symptoms. That's guaranteed no matter what you've got, but you have to put in the work, and you have to have that trust or that faith that the methods will work, at least initially, at least until you start seeing those results. There will be a lag time. There will be a time where you have to do the work before you see the results, and you just have to grit it out. You just have to take that medicine. For me, when I was struggling, I had to take the medicine for like a good month or so before the anxiety and depression and the suicidal thoughts dropped. But I sucked it up and did it. And I'm so glad I did it, because now I'm here. Same thing with meditation, same thing with exercise, same thing with therapy, right? Look at the research, trust the research that it will work on you. Because if you think about it, those people are just people like you. The people that, the therapies, the medications, the meditation, the exercise, all that sort of stuff, they're just people like you. They would have had the same doubts, the same issues, all that sort of stuff. Trust that it works on them, trust that it will work on you. Take those steps and realize that there will be a lag time. Just try. DM me if you need, and yeah, connect.